So I've never done this on this channel. In fact, I don't think I've done this ever. But I figured I had the moment, and I figured I'd do it. What is that? Well, new playable came out ahead of schedule, and I hopped in deathmatch server. Took a bit to find one. I was trying to use Juniper. That's a capacity. All of them were. So I found this one. Let me see. It is Bloodsport Deathmatch. It's pretty quiet, as you can see, even on a busy dinosaur release day. Although it is one, at least for me. So, in terms of the model, fantastic. They nailed it again. No surprise here. The calls do leave a little something to be desired. Like, I mean, that's personal preference kind of thing, but when I think of uh, Cochlear, I think Primordial Retirement spoiled me. Because this is a threatened call, and it's just not what I expected. It's a little quieter, a little more rumbly, but that's not what anybody's really gonna give a fuck about. So I can't tell you the stats because I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna save that for other people that are far more qualified. Uh, I think his name is Zarko, something like that. He'll probably release something. I'd imagine there's a few others. Uh, but what I can offer is my own personal experience after around about hour and a half in this server, just dicking around with it. Uh, so we're gonna do that by going over its abilities very briefly. I'm not gonna do Dust's thing. Speaking of, uh, Dust, if you do manage to see this, I hope you're doing good. Uh, a reply would be nice, but it's not required. I know you're probably going through it right about now. That's just how life is. This year has not been kind to anyone that I know. Outside of Hunya. Hunya's doing good, at least. Especially with Zen, I cannot wait to see what he does with it. Oh, it's gonna be great. He'll probably have something too. Guarantee he has something. And he was mentioned in the last video he made. So, in terms of bites, so he's got 3 and he's got 2 slots. The thing I'm going to recommend, unless somebody finds a strat that does this better, Frenzy Tear and Heavy Bite both use stamina. Frenzy Tear not much, but Heavy Bite it takes a heavy chunk. So, and with the 12-second cooldown roundabout, I mean, I can check to confirm that real quick. Oh, no, that's 14. Okay. With the animation, it's technically 12, but yeah, no, 14 cooldown. Uh, Not exactly something you want to be doing too often. So I'd keep Bite on. Now, the thing, Frenzy Tear absolutely has its uses. Don't let anybody tell you it doesn't. The thing is, so he has at least, let's say, 2 builds that I've seen. Um, the senses really dictate what you want to do. Do you want to have consistent damage, or do you want? So it's like this is solo to an extent. It's like if you're more on your own, like myself and many others, um, this is gonna be what you want to go with. But with Blood Soaked, which um, I know this is gonna be a thing that only I'm thinking of. But anytime I see him getting covered in blood, the only thing I can think of is the Undertaker versus Mr. Kennedy at Armageddon. I can't remember the year. It was the last ride match, and Undertaker made blood pour from the ceiling all over him. And I just think of him whenever I see the thing covered in blood. It's why does my brain do this? Just too much. Uh, the hides. I mean, obviously, you're only gonna use this if you got blood soaked. So, but it makes you drain really slow. Like you could literally be next to dead, like maybe like a fifth of a health bar, and lay down and just heal. And you'll probably still have around 70% of blood soaked. Blood soaked, whenever you have it, it's gonna go over and pop up. Yeah, there you go. It pops up. It's a lot like Mirror Guy is mud, but you build it up through combat. It's polar opposite in terms of how you build it up. But it decays, and the mud does not, unless you're getting into combat, which I find really interesting. They're really learning from what they've been doing, and I'm glad it's paying. I'm glad it's paying off. I really like what they've been doing with it. The health recovery obviously is just handy. A lot of people sleep on it, but literally, if you sleep, you'll notice a difference. It also helps. I did pick this. Well, no, actually, I have damage. I believe I can check. Yeah, bleed damage, and health recovery are gonna be very useful. Um, I just don't know. Like that's too niche. I mean, unless you really like the look, I suppose. Like if you like the thicker spikes, sure. Um, this is such a menial difference. You're not gonna notice that 5% loss. Um, this you might notice just due to how strong health recovery really is. Like I've mentioned before, it is slept on. Strong legs, that's really good because, especially with the percentage of the knockback. Fracture healing, I mean, he's fast. For something of his size, he's pretty damn quick. Especially if you're using one of his backlit abilities, which I'll get to in a moment. But the less knockback is really going to be handy because he has the other back that he has. It it's a multi hit. So if you're fighting something that is around your size, which is a little bit risky, but I'll get to that. You're gonna want to have less knockback done to you, so you're able to get in there more. He's a much more aggressive kind of. He's fast, but he's able to bob and weave. It's like if Dasp and Aloe got really friendly. That's how I would explain his playstyle. And the Nibble Feet, that's just if you really wanting to lean into being able to just avoid damage. This is if you want to be really aggressive, kind of face tanky, to be honest. That's what you want to go. A lot of people probably gonna play him like that. So if you do that, you do feel like if you're starting out, strong legs I believe is cheaper than nimble feet. So I would go with strong legs. As for the black room saw, do you want to charge in or do you want to be able to really quickly deal with something that I think is really stupid, and that's tail riding. I cannot. It makes my fucking brain have like 13 different aneurysms in the span of about 5 seconds. It's really dumb. I don't understand. I think I'm hoping this is a sign where more TLCs are just gonna put this on larger dinos because I find it incredibly obnoxious that due to a lot of carnivores having slower turns to make up for their damage because they do a fuckload. The developers, I'm assuming, have made their turn a little slow to offset that, so they can't just constantly have it on you. But the problem is that caused an issue called tail riding, where due to the diet changes, now carnivores it's much easier to just go after another carnivore, especially one that's a little bit bigger than you, because he's not going to be able to turn as well, and you're going to be able to deal with him much easier than an herbivore, because herbivores tend to have back attacks and front. So they have a little bit more defense, not to mention they're probably a little bit bigger than you. And carnivores don't have that. I think you should be just as much in danger, if not a little bit more, by attacking something that is designed to attack tanky things. I think the herbivores should be what you're going for, but obviously some people are going to want to have a challenge, even if this is a thing on most of the larger carnivores. You know, hunting for sport at that point. And then Dash doesn't use a lot of stam at all. Doesn't have much of a distance either, but it's fast enough that it makes up for it. And then the voice, as you can see, I've only used Terrifying Presence because uh, I don't know the cooldown on that. I could probably find it out very quickly. I'll probably do that. But this is really handy because it gives you like about a minute where you can just lean into the face turn kind of style and just run in, rip and tear away. And then you can start being a little bit more strategic as the fight goes on. But Terrifying Presence absolutely will make your presence known. Blood Chilling Roar. See, the problem is if you're needing to worry about bleed heal, I mean, I understand that it makes it so the bleed lasts longer. So if it is a dragged out fight, this is good. But chances are, especially since it says on group, this is designed for group play. And unless you're really just like dragging ass, I don't understand why you would need bleed heal. It's only for 2 minutes, so I'm not sure how much that'll help. But I can guarantee you somebody's gonna find a use for it. I'm not exactly the be all end all of what's useful and what's not. I just But I suppose we'll go over and get running start here real quick and see the cooldown on it at least to find out if it's even worth using. So it says 2 minutes. Okay. So it's basically it's a 2 minute buff roundabout, and it's after you activate it, and once it wears off, then you'll have about like 30 or so odd seconds to just be a little slower up going uphill and going downhill. Um, Good for ambushes, but there's no way in fuck anybody is gonna not know what's going on at that point. And they're probably not gonna try to run up a hill. They're probably gonna try to run around something, under something, or into the water. If they're scared enough. But play styles that I mentioned is something a little tricky to so blood soaked, so dried blood, and you get blood soaked. And then with this, I would genuinely not recommend heavy bite and do frenzied terror with this. So that way, and dash, so you can get in and out at your leisure. And this will just help facilitate that more effectively. The reason why you want to have dash in this, because like I said, this does do a little bit of stam, and yes, this doesn't do much in terms of cost. However, the heavy bite is going to take so much that this being buffed with nimble feet is going to be completely worthless to you. So I wouldn't even bother with that. That actually. So I think I may have actually accidentally found a use for running start. This might actually work for this. So I'm gonna go over into the area on this one, which is Grassland Lake. I don't know if it switches. I know Juniper was doing that for a moment, but they stopped. They were always in Corpse Cove now. But yeah, there we go. See, that's about 30 odd seconds. Shit, there's a bunch of stuff dying out here. I want to find a fresh spawn to an extent. What the hell? Oh, you motherfucker. Ugh. And it seems like charge can only be used while you're running. Oh. Oh, well, he's higher caliber than I am. Like I said, not the be all end all of what works. I can just tell you what I've learned. What I've learned is this one seems definitely more geared for group play. It seems like he's bleed support, like a giant bleed tank support. But the one that does work pretty well, I don't know why I'm laying down, I don't know how to do that. Is definitely fresh blood, thick scoots, strong legs. That would have been handy. Terrifying presence as well. But yeah, this is what I would do for single. And then if you're gonna go with a group play in mind, that's when you go with the what I'm gonna call the Mr. Kennedy. You can obviously mismatch this to your heart's content. I know they also has a sense of feast. That's definitely gonna be if you're always playing him in a group. use Feast. Because it's going to help a lot. I mean, 60% reduced bleed healing. And the fact that you're getting health and stamina for 20 seconds. If you're fighting something else with bleed, this isn't going to be very handy to you. But beyond that, you'll be fine. But we're going to go over and showcase the other one. The one that I prefer. Because I play solo a lot. Because I'm a lonely motherfucker. Wait, there is somebody. Alrighty. So I think they have this little thing called an arena. Helps facilitate 1v1s. The Stego is still standing. I take less knockback, buddy. Shit. Oh. There we go. We'll call it a draw. So yeah, that one's definitely geared for more a lone hunter kind of shit. And the server kind of breaks a little bit. It is smaller. Oh, there we go. That was fantastic. Alrighty. Trying again. There we go. Oh, fuck, I bungled that bad. Thought the same thing. Ooh, gotcha. Oh, I'm out of stamina. There's a lot more. There we go. Fantastic. I love the mobility that Juke gives him. Like, something of this size, nobody would expect to move fast. But realistically, they would, because, well, they've had millions of years to evolve to hunt. You're not gonna just be slow as hell. For, you know, just get so big, because, well, look at a lot of big carnivores that we've seen in history. They don't give a fuck. But, yeah, that's my thoughts on him. He's not nearly as, like, overpowered as one would expect from a name what is it, Tyrannotitan, I believe? Yeah. You know, apparently we've been walking his path this entire time, and we had no idea. So, kudos to Alderaan for hiding that one out. He has issues fighting things of his own size. That is something I've noticed. He does not hit as hard as is something that is as nimble or as stationary. Like, he wants to trade, but he wants to trade and use his speed to his advantage or his size. He does not like to go mano a mano. Like, I'd imagine with a Rex, it's gonna be a pretty rough situation. But against something like that Aloe dancing around on the rock over there, probably would do alright. I know he could do pretty okay against the bars, I got to test that in his server. Don't have any footage of it. But he can take a Boris pretty good because of Boris's moves. Kinda. It's kind of what he likes. You know, something slow, something that trades, and easy to avoid to a certain extent. I don't know how he would do against an EO, but seeing as how EOs fight Rexes constantly and can win, and he would probably struggle with one, I would not try it unless you're in a group and you're outnumbered and have varied builds. You know, you got one like what I'm using, you got another one that's doing like bleed damage and all that, and like the support stuff, and then the other one that's like increasing, you know, mix and match to your heart's content. Do not take what I say as the be all end all. Those are the only builds you can do. Absolutely not. You experiment, you find what works for you. But hopefully, I can give you a little bit of a template so you can start off a little bit. I don't know. Start off, you know, not going entirely blind. So that's it for me. I will defer to others that are far more qualified, like Zarko and fucking and Hanya. Uh, Absolutely respect the hell out of them. I'm hoping that Onion sees this, so that way I can tell him that his call of it being Tyrannotitan was a good call. Uh, and I do want to get a rematch. This will be basically a fourth round of Giga versus his deck. Uh, the first three times he beat my ass. Those are very old old videos on here. Um, But yeah, I have to say that's about all I got for you. I can go over the skins really quickly, I suppose. In lieu of Dust having not been on for some time, I really do hope he's okay. But this is from the female skin perspective. The male skins, I'd imagine, are more bright, more colorful. I know this one has a lot more green on it. The special skins it comes with, I'm not too enthused by Bloodthirsty because red, black, you know, a hot topic. This one is very interesting. I like the meld between like the drab, dull, and then like just flare in the front. Like, yeah, it's pretty nice. Same with petrified. You know, a little bit more dull and drab. It's a distinct pattern. And, you know, a lot of camo options. A lot not so camo options. There's Meg's wet dream right there. But yeah, like we're probably gonna see a lot of this. We might see some of this. I like the fact that it's pink. Um, the default again, you know, pretty good as they have been. They've been cooking with those. Uh, yeah. Now that they got this, can we go over and get some TLCs, please? I just want to have Bars be a danger. I mean, yeah, he's a danger, but it's very unintuitive danger. I like seeing how well they've been doing with a lot of the Herbivore TLCs. You know, Lamb, Iggy, Kent. You know, a lot of people shit on Kent. Kent's rework is really good. It made him a fucking monster. A little bit, but not a ridiculous one. It's one that actually takes a little bit of, you know, synapse control, which is probably why he's not viewed upon very highly right about now. But yeah, I'm gonna go over and edit this down, and guess I did have a good couple of pauses, like that one. But I hope you guys found this useful, or at least entertaining enough to watch somebody get utterly fucked as he tries to explain how this, I don't know, is good but not too good. It does depend on the player, because I'm not exactly the best of players. But that's fine. None of us are. That's why we watch shit like this. So that way we might actually get something done. Allah, fuck off. I'm trying to... Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna cut it here. Holy hell. I hope you guys have a good one. And Merry Christmas to anybody that I am not able to message before Wednesday. Alright, so classic post editing addendum. I did end up finding a Rex before I ended up leaving the server. I wanted to kill before I left. And this Rex showed up. Just wandered on over, like, hey, what you gotta do? And I got a really cool ass skin that's a mod that really should be an official skin. So, I went over and I asked him if he'd wait and try to duel out with him. And it would appear I have to rescind my statement of him not being able to handle the Rex. It could be just Cult of New, and that he just didn't know what he was gonna have to go against. Or maybe I just got lucky. It's up to you guys to judge that one. Alrighty. Jesus, I forgot that stomp. My God. Nope. Oh. Oh my God, that stomp is a game changer. Oh, I'm glad he doesn't have one, like, because he's mobile. Alright, so this is how you end this. This is how you leave a server. Just a few bites. Whoa! The flop. Perfect.